So let us start with it. So templates in C++. So the template concept can be used in two different ways, the functions and classes. So we can have function templates, we can have class templates. There are two basic types of it. Now whenever we are studying any concept, first we should understand what is need of it, right? So suppose I have given you one statement that write a simple program to find maximum number from the given list of numbers. So what you will do is you will consider, now I'm not included explanation about the type of the number in the statement. So naturally students will start doing it for integer number. So you will take input array, then you will take a number to search, and then you will search in that and you will output that this number is found or this number is not found. Similarly for sorting also, you will take one integer array, you perform the say sorting ascending order, and you will display the whatever output is required for that particular program. But it will work for integer values only, right? So if I change the statement that it should work for all type of numbers, that means it should work for integer, it should work for float, it should work for double. Okay, so you will need to write three different types of function. One will work for integer, other will work for float, or maybe third, which will work for other data type, right? So we should have some way by which we can write a generic function which will work for all data types. So this is one consideration or assumption in the development of templates. Okay, so what template is allowing us to write the generic things. Okay, so this is just one example I told you so that you will understand that what is the need of it. So step by step you will understand the detailed concept. So here, as shown on the slide, it is a type independent patterns that can work with multiple data types. As I told you, the data type should not be restricted. So if we are restricting a data type for a particular function, that function will work for that data type only. So we want some way by which our function will be type independent. Type independent means what? It should not depend on the data type, what kind of variable we are passing to it. So this kind of concept is called as generic programming. Okay, now generic programming means there is no dependency on the type of a data we are using. The next is a code reusability. Now we have seen this in inheritance that we reuse the part of code which is already there. So if we have written some logic for say searching or sorting, why to uh, why to repeat the same logic for different data type? Instead, reuse the code which is already done. So this is code reusability. Now we can say that it is another form of polymorphism. So we are aware about the keyword polymorphism. uh, Polymorphism means what? Many forms. So single logic and many forms. Example, we have seen function overloading, operator overloading. A single operator performing multiple operations. A single function name performing different types of say functionalities. Polymorphism. Now here we have the same logic, but it will work for different type of data. So that is the reason we are calling it is another form of polymorphism. The next is a type of it. Either as I told you, there can be function templates and there can be class templates. So the function templates, these define logic behind the algorithms that work for multiple data types. So function templates are nothing but the functions which are written for a particular logic or particular algorithm and which will work for multiple data types. So it is similar to a simple function, only it will work for multiple data types. Now how it is going to work, that we'll see. Class templates, the second category. These define generic class patterns into which specific data type can be plugged in to produce new classes. So as we have say function templates, these functions are working for multiple data types. Similarly, we have a class templates which are which is generating a generic class pattern where the specific data type can be plugged in. Okay, and we can generate new classes. We'll see example of both, but first we'll start with the function templates. So let me know whether you got the idea about the templates what we are going to study. Any doubt here? Understood the need? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now let us see what is a function template. So C++ routines work on specific types. We often need to write different routine to perform same operation on different data types. For example, just see this slide here. I have written one function and this function is performing operation on integer variables. The return type of the function is integer. Then the parameter which we are passing here are integer parameters. See this. This is a return type and these are the parameters which we are passing. You can see here the first line in the maximum function. This is the name of the function is maximum because I am finding the maximum number from the given 3. So here a, b, c, three integers are passed and this function is returning a number which is max from these three. So I'm declaring a temporary variable here max equal to a. So initially I'm assuming that a number is max. And then I'm checking using if b is greater than max, max equal to b. And if c is equal greater than max, then max equal to c. So this way I'll get the maximum number from the given three numbers. Now what is return here? I'm returning here the max, that is a integer number. That is the reason why we have a return type as integer. So this is very simple function. I know you will be able to understand this. What is the reason of writing this? Now I have written this for integer. Whether it will work for float, whether it will work for double, no, because here specifically I have mentioned data type as integer. Okay, now let us see. Now my teacher told me to write the same function for float numbers. So I have written the same function, just change the data type of the variable. So here the return type is changed. I made it as float. I change it as float. Then again I'm passing some parameters, three same number of parameters, 1, 2, 3 to this function and all are float. Again I'm declaring a temporary variable here max. It is also float. Logic is same. Okay, so this is a first function which is written for integer. This is a second function which is written for float. Now this is third function which is written for double. Now you can see here the logic is same, only the data type is change. So you can see here data type I have used is double. Okay, logic on is same. Even I'm returning the max. Max is double in this case. So the logic is exactly same, but the data type is different. So function templates allows the logic to be written once and used for all data types, and this is called as a generic function. If someone is telling you to write the generic function, you should go for templates in C++. Remember this, these are the same words, generic function and function templates. Both are same. Now why the word generic is attached to it? Because we are writing a function which will work for any data type. Now let us see what is a syntax of it. So the same example we are writing over here. So this is the line which is written in red is a important line which mentions that this is a function template. Now I am starting with writing a function template. Template is a keyword. Okay, so whatever is written here, the template is a keyword, then into bracket. Now these are different bracket, these are not round or curly bracket, just check this sign. Now inside that bracket I am writing type name space and t. Now this t is you can say temporary variable name I am creating here for this template. Now type name is a keyword along instead of this type name you can use class. It doesn't mean that we are declaring a class. This class and type name are the keywords which I am using to mention or to create a new type for that particular function. Okay, so this template is a keyword, type name is a keyword, and this t I can change. Here I have written t, you can make it as x. Okay, now this t will represent type within this function. So format is fixed. We know that we have written it for integer, we have written it for float and double also. So here I will write return type as t. Then I'll write the name of the function. Now I'm passing three parameters to this function and the type of that those parameter mentioned as t. So 3 times t space and the name of the variable. So ABC are the variables and capital T is a data type which I will be using for executing this function. Now let us go ahead. This is the first line in the function which started with the declaration of variable max equal to a. So what will be the type, data type of this max? It will be t. That means whatever data type will be passed to this template will be assigned to this max. And the remaining logic is same, whatever we apply for finding the maximum from the given 3. Now the question is how we will call this function. Okay, and why, what is the reason we are writing this line in red? Now we are instructing compiler that we are writing the generic function. Now that generic function should be created as a template. That's why the keyword template is written. And by using this keyword type name, compiler will understand that what data type this function will use, and it will be replaced by this t. So the place where t is used will be replaced by a particular data type with which this function will be called. This is a bit different, or this is not a general practice which we followed. So that is the reason you may feel that this function is looking different. But here this, if you write this first line, this will change complete meaning of this function. Any doubt here?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now template function itself is incomplete because the compiler will need to know the actual type to generate the code. Now you can see this example. So here when this function will execute, that time only this type will be recognized, or how compiler will know that which data type this function is going to use. So that is the reason we are calling it as incomplete. Okay, so this is the first statement here on this slide. The template function itself is incomplete. Why? Because compiler need to know what is the actual type of this code. So template program are often placed in .h or .hpp files to be included in the program that uses the function. Now, suppose we want to write a generic function and we want to use it as a library file, then we can include that as header file .h or .hpp files. These are header files which normally we use for as a library. So, so don't think much about it. We are not going to use it. We are going to write the simple templates. So C++ compiler will then generate the real function based on the use of the function template. So compiler will generate depending upon its call. Now after a function template is included, the function can be used by passing parameters of real types. Now you can see here you can see here I am declaring a template, type name t, then this maximum function, all the code. Then afterwards in the code I am declaring three variables I1, I2 and I3, and then I am passing that to maximum function. Okay. Maximum I1, I2 and I3 will invoke the template function with t as integer, and this function will return the integer value. Now we will see complete code. This half part is a bit confusing. I'll show you complete code for that. Now let us see some lines over here. Each call to maximum function on different data type forces the compiler to generate a different function using the template. Now one copy of a code and many types. So here you can see I'm declaring integer variables I1, I2, I3 and calling maximum with these three. Then I'm declaring double variables D1, D2, D3 and then I'm calling it the maximum same function with D1, D2 and D3. And the compiler will understand the first time that it has to do it with integer variables and second time it has to do with double variable. Now this is another example. We have seen one example of say maximum function. Now this is a function which is just printing the contents of the array. Now here you can see the first line I'm writing a template keyword, after that type name keyword and T again. T represents the data type which I am going to use. This void print array is a name of a function. Void is a return type. I am not returning anything. I am using this function to print the contents of the array. But I am not aware about what is the data type of this array. Whether this array is a character array, whether this array is a integer, float or a double array. So here I am using a constant keyword. We all know that what is use of constant keyword. I want to maintain the value of that array or whatever variable which is passed to this function as a constant. It should not change. So here constant T. So this type of array is not mentioned. It is generic. But type of this count is fixed. That is integer. Because count is always integer, we use it as integer. So inside this function, I have a for loop which displays the contents of array up to this count. Count is a length of array. Suppose I have 10 elements in array. This loop will execute 0 to 9 10 times. I am displaying contents of array as array of I. So even if this array is a float array or integer array, it will display its contents. Now the same kind of template we are going to use for our implementation of fifth assignment, because our statement is what? Applying the selection sort. So for selection sort we need to take array like this. Okay, so now how this function will be called? Just see this function. What are the parameters we are passing? Array and its length. Similarly, here you can see I have a character array, C array, integer array, I array, double array, D array. Now this is in main function I have written. I have declared three types of array and I am calling the same function with three different parameters. So first time I am passing character array, second time I am passing integer array, third time I am passing a double array. But this size is fixed 100 because the length of the array is 100. So that function will display how many elements? 100 elements, because the second parameter count is 100. So this is how we can create the template and we can use it for different data types. So we have seen two examples. First example is for finding a maximum number from the given three numbers, and second is to display the contents of the array. Now, important thing is whether we can pass array which is created by a class. Okay, so here the line which is indicated with red says that we can create object array of objects also. So array of object, that means I am declaring one class in my program as a student. Okay, and I am taking say student SC comp and 100 student record. So I can call the template or that function with this array also, which is created by the class. Okay, so that means I can call this template with objects. Now what if I'm calling this with object is it will jump to the code. What is the code? This is the code. तो यहाँ पे क्या किया हमने? Array of I को display किया है. Now we know that class consists of different variables. Suppose इस class में 5 variables है. So what we need to display 5 different variables. This code is not enough for it. So what is a constraint if I am using user defined type here? Class is a user defined type, right? So user is defining, we are not aware about how many elements will be there. So displaying only array of I is not enough. For that purpose, we need to have some changes in the code. So if my class does not have overloaded this operator, then the print array template function will not work. So why? Because this stream insertion operator need to understand, in case I am passing object, what to display, how to display. So that is the reason why this operator overloading of this operator, stream insertion operator, is required. But what I'll suggest is you just remember one line, that we can use templates for user defined types also. We don't have that in syllabus, implementation of user defined data types using templates. We have it for simple data types, integer, character, double, that way. So you just know, you should have this information that we can apply it for objects also, that is user defined types also. Any doubt up to this? Should I go ahead with the example?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now let us see example which we have discussed, that is finding a max from the given three numbers using function templates. Now this is the code which I have written so that you will understand the concept of templates. Just observe this code first, how we have started. We started in the normal way. Line number 6, IOStream is included, then namespace. Line number 9, we are starting with the template. Now I have written this template to find the maximum from the three numbers. Template, after that I have a keyword type name and this T. So this T is here the important part, playing the important part. So what is return type of the function? It is T. How many elements I am passing? 3 elements. The data type I have mentioned as T, which will be replaced later. Now I have explained you this logic 11 to 16 already we have discussed. So let us start with the main function. Now in the main function, I have taken three integer numbers a, b and c. Okay, and three float numbers x, y and z. So here first line I am displaying the title of the program. After that I am calling the function maximum. Okay, now while calling there is a change. While calling this maximum, along with this I am passing this type of a data which I am passing. So here I am telling compiler that this maximum function will be operated on integer, and this second time, next line, I am calling this maximum function with float, the data type float. So I am passing parameter abc, which are integer, and it will display the result. After that I am calling this maximum function with float numbers, that is xyz. Normally when we call this function, what we write, maximum and into round brackets abc. So there is a slight change while calling. Along with this maximum I have to mention a data type for which I am calling this function. So this data type integer will be pasted at the place of t over here in the template. So everywhere where we have t, there will be int now, integer, and it will work for integer. Second time, next cout statement, when this will be executed, this call is made maximum xyz along with the value xyz, and float will be copied at the place of the t. So everywhere we have t, it will be treated as a float. Okay, now let us see what output it is giving. So in first cout statement, it is giving integer max value, that is 88. So we have three numbers 4, 88 and 9. So it is displaying maximum of it. Second time when I am calling, it is giving me output as float max is 11.7. So we have 9.9, 8.0 and 11.7. Logic is correct. We are just calling the function with different data type. Now what you have to remember is, what is a different from the regular program is the line number 9, that is template keyword and type name keyword. Here instead of type name you can write class also. Only two things are available, allowed. that is type name and class. And this t you have to remember. Now you can change this t by any other name. You can take x, you can try the same thing. Once this is working, you can try other things also. And while calling, you have to mention a data type like this over here, line number 24 and line number 25. Okay, understood this program?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.